When we talk about culture for competency-based education, it begins with a willingness of a team to try new things, to explore something new. And absolutely at the center of the initiative is the idea that students should have an opportunity to be the champions of their own learning.
The recent article in KnowledgeWorks notes that states, districts, and schools implementing personalized learning and competency-based education, or CBE, should be empowered to continuously innovate and refine their learning models. Throughout our work implementing CBE with schools and districts across North Carolina, we know that having a supportive culture is critically important to its success. Moving from a traditional system to a CBE system will require a change in mindset.
So as we think about leading change, I think it's very important for us to begin with our why. Our why is so important. Understanding the need and sense of urgency for personalization and for competency-based education, we must remember that change doesn't happen overnight. So we want to move slow to go fast. Ensure that there's clarity about what we are doing.
The Regional Education Laboratory Southeast's North Carolina CBE Research Alliance developed a CBE mastery framework that outlines critical factors that must be considered and often changed to help create a supportive culture for the implementation of CBE practices. This often starts with having a mission statement that explicitly defines a focus on CBE.
As schools and districts are considering competency-based education, it is critical that there is a shared vision and understanding around what that means and what the desired outcomes will be as students and teachers shift away from a more subjective start and end point in learning and shift to a more continuous cycle of learning.
With a mission defined, schools and districts must then also employ a knowledgeable staff that drives the shift to CBE and engage parents and families and other stakeholders in the process in order to create a culture conducive to implementing CBE.
The first thing that a school or district needs to do when they're implementing competency-based education is to make sure that the administrators and the teachers understand what competency-based education is and that they are well trained and well versed in it. And I also think that within the school itself, that the parents and students need equal training to understand what CBE is and how it works and what the benefits are.
For us, parent education around competency-based education begins at day one. We share with parents a few tools to help them digest standards-based grade reports, and they're quite different from a traditional progress report. So wherein a progress report may have a list of assignments and grades, and maybe there are a few assignments missing. A performance report for standards-based grading or competency-based education would list individual standards and a student's performance at a particular point in time. So one of the challenges for a parent when it comes to our version of those standards-based grade reports is to know that within this system, a student continually has opportunities to demonstrate their learning all throughout the semester. So a progress report is just that. It is a moment in time snapshot of what a student has demonstrated he or she knows how to do at this given time.
So in order to implement CBE or anything really within a school system, I think number one, the most important thing to do is educate everybody. Educate the teachers, educate the students, educate the parents, educate the stakeholders. I think you really do need to put that out there and let people know why it's important, why we're doing this, how it's going to help students be successful. If you don't paint that picture first, people might be a little wary of it. So I think education is key.
People, adults especially, teachers and parents, really like the comfort of a traditional setting. And so it's hard sometimes to convince them that while that may work for some students, that competencies really is built to work for all students because it, supports them where their needs are. So considering, the gentle approach of getting people on board is something that we've struggled with, just trying to onboard people to this way of thinking and helping people to understand that, it's not all about a letter grade, and it's not just about a number grade, and it's about growth, and it's about mastery, and it's about personal experience rather than just a comparison on a bell curve.
Cultivating a culture of innovation and relevance is also very important to the implementation of CBE.
Schools and districts must create a culture that allows others to be innovative, to take risk. And in leading this work at my school at Shuford with competency-based education, I've had to leverage the expertise of my teachers to really make those decisions about instructional practices that we use, really monitoring the impact of what we are doing. So that is key in beginning to embark on any type of change, specifically CBE implementation.
Throughout the process, it is always important for schools and districts to provide effective communications to all of their stakeholders.
I think you always have to start with the why and collaborating within your community so that there's an understanding around the context and the need for the shift. And once there's understanding around those desired outcomes, then you can start to build a plan. And a learning management system is critical in order to accomplish the communication that's necessary in both communicating with students around their mastery of required competencies and keeping families engaged so that they can help to support that learning at home.
School leaders play a key role in setting the vision and creating the culture within a school or district.
So we're very lucky that our principal is extremely innovative, and she's not scared to take risks and put herself out there and put our school kind of on the map for innovation. She has fostered innovation in our school. She's not scared to, change up the schedule and mix it up and have everybody try new and different things, and is a passionate leader that inspires others to join her in the innovation, which is really helpful in getting kind of everybody on the same board, the same, playing field here at school, because it's not a place that you can just sit back and do what has always been done. It's a place that pushes you out of your comfort zone into an area of growth, no matter where you are in your career, and she's great at supporting that.
My job, as much as anything, is once I set the ship on course, is to be the cheerleader and to help remove any barriers that teachers or children may feel are in the way of their learning, and to really just provide all of the resources that folks need to be successful. And then I think also one of the ways that we create the culture in the school is that culture of high expectations is probably associated around, or maybe somewhat of a result of, our instructional rounds and our willingness to be great, and our want to be great, and the willingness to risk and be vulnerable with each other so that we can be better at our craft.
So the way that you set the vision and create the culture in the school around that as a principal is you work as a faculty to teach students to become responsible for their own learning. So we come together, we create a vision, but we use student voice and choice to do so. And that impacts the culture of the school. And the overall culture of the school is that you see students who are excited about learning, who are curious about learning new things, and that they are responsible for their own learning. They know where they need to go, and they know what they need to do to get there.
For more information about CBE, including additional videos related to the CBE Mastery Framework, visit the REL Southeast website.